that heel click? It's, oh bless you. It's a beautiful day in the neighbor pool. A beautiful day to be Deadpool. It's story time. Story time. We got any fans of Mr. Rogers out there today? All right. I'm a pretty big fan of Captain America myself. Are you all ready for story time? Yeah! That's good to hear because I certainly have a story to tell. Gosh, I love to talk. Today's story is a beloved bedtime classic, mashed up with a very profitable licensing agreement. You guessed it, it's Cinderpool. See what I did there? We got some Cinderpool fans out there, huh? All right. Well, that doesn't work. No matter. Look at these adorable pictures, by the way. Look at me and Wolvie. I know, right? We're so cute. I scribbled these myself. Once upon a time. You know what? It just feels wrong when I'm doing it with myself. Why don't we all say it together, shall we? 1, 2, 3. Once upon a time. Wasn't that fun and interactive? Well, anyway, upon that time, once, Cinderpool lived in a big mansion with his shiny-headed step professor and a bunch of hideous step mutants. The biggest one, Colossus, was always making up stupid rules that no one cared about. Like, please stop labeling other people's food in the fridge with your own initials. And for the love of Feige, stop hanging your underwear from the ceiling fan. How else am I supposed to air that out? Well, anyway, the other main step mutant, Negasonic Teenage Warhead, such a cool name, was always just texting and rolling her eyes. They were both super jealous because Cinderpool had a much, and I mean much larger fan base. They don't call this story time with Colossus now, do they? One day, an expendable non-union extra came running across the mansion grounds, screaming. King Thanos was planning the biggest battle of Phase 3. The last truly relevant phase. Cinderpool desperately wanted to go to this big battle, but Colossus said, no. Too dangerous. Cinderpool don't know how to be part of team. And then Colossus ripped up Cinderpool's nicest costume before Negasonic Teenage Warhead, again, such a cool name, made it explode into 1,000,000 pieces with her mind powers. And then popped her gum. Oh, so Gen Z. On fleek, Sigma, no cap. Cinderpool was very bummed and felt very vulnerable and exposed. Minus 100,000 aura, as Negasonic would say. He ran out onto the mansion grounds, stumbling for dramatic effect. Hello there, camera. When suddenly, a big, strange, sparkly circle appeared. And from out of that big, strange, sparkly circle walked out Cinderpool's very hairy god mutant, Wolverine! He's definitely here, you guys. Let me try that one more time. Put this magic sparkly circle to use. I said Cinderpool's very hairy god mutant, Wolverine! Alright, well, I guess Logie Bear couldn't make it in today. Okay, just gonna leave me hanging. That's not very demure of him at all. Not very mindful, Logie Bear, but anyway. I'm quite honestly used to doing it with myself, so I'll just be both characters. Oh, very hairy god mutants, Wolverine! I desperately want to go to the big battle, but my mean step mutants vaporized my costume and shut up! Growled Wolverine lovingly. What? Well, I need a new costume. I have to go to the big battle. Stop your whining now, right? Go find yourself another costume. I'm going to Pim's Test Kitchen. Stop bothering me. And off to Pim's Test Kitchen he went. He's actually probably there right now. Oh, well, anyway, after that very sage and somewhat Australian advice, Cinderpool headed off to the wardrobe department to get a freshly laundered costume, and then went to the big battle. Cinderpool missed most of it, though, because he stopped for some delicious chimichangas along the way. Yeah, you know, priorities. But rest assured, when Cinderpool got there, the Avengers were still winning. Captain America looked so cool and so ruggedly handsome in those pants. Oh, I love Mr. Rogers. And then, as the aliens were finally fleeing away in defeat, Cinderpool saw something on the steps of one of the spaceships. It was a single glove. And a high five. High five, civilian. There we go. You're welcome for the core memory. Wow, this glove was so fancy. Big and gold with beautiful jewels. I think there were 6 of them, not that that's really relevant information. I wonder who this fits, thought Cinderpool before trying it on. After some clicking, whizzing, and whirring, it adjusted right to Cinderpool's arm. Then, out of nowhere, Iron Man came flying in out of left field screaming, "Hey, please take that off. This is my sacrifice to make. I really don't want to be Iron Man until I'm 90. In fact, I would rather be doomed than be Iron Man again. Doomed, I tell you." Stop it. Trust me, guys, I'm just as confused as you guys are. And then other, much less relevant Avengers came running in too, saying things like, "Please put that down. That's not a toy. Whatever you do, do not snap." So obviously Cinderpool snapped. Oh, Cinderpool snapped a bunch, both physically and mentally. Then the weirdest thing happened. It was probably unrelated to Cinderpool's actions, but half of everyone kept disappearing, and then reappearing, and then disappearing again. So many people were crying. Tony said "I love you" like 3,000 times, which is kind of pushy. But eventually everyone did come back. Well, everyone except for those that texted and called during a movie theater experience. We didn't want them back. But everyone else did. But then the Avengers tackled Cinderpool, ripped off his new favorite glove, and when they went on to remake the movie, they CGI'd Tony's head onto Cinderpool's majestic body, and it went on to become the most profitable film of the Feige cinematic universe. The FCU, as I like to call it. I know, I'm still workshopping that acronym. I feel like there's just one too many letters. Well, anyway, honestly, everything worked out for old Cinderpool, because Cinderpool went on to start his own, even more successful franchise, yeah! Yeah, that's right, who's relevant now? It was so successful, in fact, that Cinderpool was eventually invited to be part of the Avengers Endgame 2, Electric Boogaloo. Yeah, in theaters at some unannounced point. Well, that's the end. Game, if you will. Well, thank you, one person, for being a fan of puns. I really appreciate you, sure. All right, well, anyway, I should be off then, but thank you all for coming to another illustrious story time with your new favorite Disney princess, Deadpool.